3. Slow and steady does not.
Woo! You got some of it in there.
Oh, that was awful.
What type of shit is this?
Yo.
Is she pregnant?
Oh my gosh.
Oh, grandma getting out the car?
Yo, this is some shit.
Excuse me, can you get back in your car? Can you get back in your car?
Umbrella. She's up. Whole nother level of shit you can't even understand.
What is good, my people? We are live back again with another episode of The Forecast. Now, we as a people can't be scared to defend ourselves. And I'm not saying go out and do something suicidal, but we stay in a position we are in because we continue to allow it. They've already been shedding our blood for half a millennium. What more is there to be afraid of? And some of the things they did to us should have been stopped the very first time they did it. And they love to compare other groups and other situations to ours. But the fact is, there were certain inhumane things that they did to us that nobody else ever experienced. Back in 1899, a brother named Samuel Wilkes, but was better known as Sam Hose, was lynched down in Georgia. Now, this brother Sam Hose got into an argument with his white boss, Alfred Cranford, for not being paid for his work. And he also asked for time off to go visit his sick mom who was dying, but his boss refused to let him go. And at some point during the argument, the white dude Alfred Cranford pulled out his gun and threatened to kill this brother Sam Hose. So in self-defense, this brother threw an axe that he was working with, and it hit his boss, and he eventually died from his wounds. Now this brother Sam Hose tried to run, but a lynch mob found him and brought him back. Now they had spread rumors that this brother Sam Hose raped his boss's wife, Mattie Cranford, and assaulted their infant, which is not true. Even his boss's wife said he threw the axe in self-defense and he didn't rape her. But a lynch mob spread those rumors so they could lynch him without going to trial. Now they took this brother Sam Hose back to his boss's house, where the lynch mob grew to over 2,000, and white people coming in on trains from all over the place just to watch this man get lynched. So then they tied this man Sam Hose to a tree and threw kerosene on him, which made the skin from his face and the rest of his body start to peel off. And then they set this man on fire. And as he was being burnt alive, they began to cut off pieces of his body like his ear, his nose, his tongue, his fingers, his genitalias, castrating him. And this brother had to go through all of that pain. Then the mob started fighting with each other over pieces of his body and over the stake he was burnt on, anything they could find. They were still going through the ashes hours later trying to find anything they could take as a souvenir. And some people were selling his body parts to whoever wanted to buy it. W.E.D. Du Bois said when he went to the area, he went into a grocery store where they were selling his knuckles. Ida B. Wells even hired somebody to investigate the murder. And the report she published found Sam Hose was acting in self-defense. And it was the lynch mob who came up with the allegations that he raped his boss's wife. But white women were thanking God for what the mob did. White feminists like Rebecca Felton said the white woman Mattie Cranford being raped by a black man was infinitely more intolerable than the murder of her husband, and that any white man would have happily dispatched this beast was no more concerned than shooting down a mad dog because the dog is worthy of more sympathy. Another black man, Lije Strickland, was also implicated in the murder, and the mob also killed him the same night. 15 white men went to his home that night and pulled him out of his house, and they tried to make him confess. But this brother said, "You can kill me if you want, but I don't have anything else to tell you." They found his body hanging the next day, and they had cut off his ears and his fingers and castrated him and collected pieces of his body. And then they left a note on his bloody chest saying, "We must protect our women." And on the back it said, "Beware all darkies. You'll be treated the same way." And no matter who you are or what you do, they see us all as the same. And today is no different than 120 years ago. In Shereveport, Louisiana, a young brother, Anthony Childs, was shot 8 times by Shereveport Police. Now let's see what led to the death of this young brother.
As much as what actually happened, the public deserved to see that, the family deserved to see it.
Councilman James Green pushes the city to release video of a February 5th shooting involving a shootout with a man and a Shreveport police officer. The man, Anthony Childs' death, was ruled a suicide.
As a public servant, the only thing I could do was ask for the video to be shown.
Chief Ben Raymond released the video during Tuesday's council meeting.
It's chilling. It's heartbreaking, and it's terrifying that the city thinks that they can show us all this, and that's going to shut us up. That's going to keep people quiet. That was not satisfying whatsoever.
In the video, Childs was walking down Hollywood Avenue when Officer Traveion Brooks was driving in the opposite direction. Brooks turned his car around at the stoplight, then went back to approach Brooks, who then ran away. You hear a conversation between Childs and Brooks. Now, according to police, Childs pointed a gun at the officer, and they exchanged gunfire.
For them to think that that's going to keep us quiet is just appalling. They have so little respect for the people of Shreveport and the intelligence of the people of Shreveport.
Chief Raymond says the initial police report outlines how Childs shot himself in the chest. The shots the officer hit Childs with were non-lethal.
Knowledge is power, and I just think that they deserved the knowledge to know.
This was the second meeting held regarding the death of Anthony Childs, and things did get heated tonight. The district attorney was there, and he got to address to the public why he did not end up picking up the case.
I had it sent to my office. I looked at the videos. I reviewed the statements to see if there was anything there that contradicted the information based on my conversation with the coroner in there. And I did not see anything that allowed me to do anything more.
Officials say Anthony Childs died in a police-involved shooting in Shreveport. The autopsy found the fatal shot came from Childs himself, whether it was intentional or accidental suicide. But his family and community members are unsettled by the evidence presented to them.
What's the value of a black man in Shreveport?
Let him ask questions. I'm coming up here and trying to tell you the truth. The facts of what was determined in an investigation. And every time I bring a fact out, you call me a liar. Or you say that I'm covering for somebody, or I'm not giving you the evidence correctly. I will go through this one more time as it happened, and I did a very extensive investigation. The officer got out, took his taser out, he did, and he came around the side of the vehicle, and as soon as he came around the side of the vehicle in the video, you heard him say, oh, gun, drop the gun, and he dropped his taser, and he ran back to hide behind his car again. Mr. Childs is way up here by the fence. He comes back out, and you hear, shoot me, and 2 shots.
The family questions the police officer's actions of trying to stop a man running away, while the chief says they can't let people run away from police.
So shooting at a person on the ground was proper procedure.
No jail time for the offense.
But you chase him because why is he running? He didn't run because he was sagging. He ran because he had an illegal weapon. He ran because he had an illegal weapon in his possession. And it's our job as police officers to chase him.
I'm going to come back and you got to answer
Is a bullet goes right through a vehicle, like a piece of cheese. So just because I'm behind a vehicle does not mean I'm protected for gunfire.
The NAACP held the meeting for the public to say what they needed, and many did not hold back.
My kids are his dad's brother, his niece and nephew, wherever he got his grandmama, his daddy.
Now this brother Anthony Childs, who is a military veteran suffering from PTSD, because we all know how much America in a dominant society respects its veterans. But this brother who has defended this country was walking down the street minding his own business when a cop, Officer Traveion Brooks, who doesn't even work in the area, he was just there because he picked up some extra shifts. But he tried to stop and arrest his brother based off the saggy pants law, which was made to have this direct result. These kind of laws are no different from the literacy test and the poll taxes because they only mainly target one group of people, and they were designed to criminalize us. So this brother Anthony Childs, probably scared for his life, ended up taking off running. And the police said as he ran, he pulled out a gun. And on the dash camera, you can hear this brother saying, shoot me. And then you heard 2 gunshots. Now the coroner, Todd Thoma, said the first shot was Anthony Childs shooting himself in the chest. And he fell to the ground after the first shot you heard. Then after a second, you heard the cop saying, put the gun down. And then he shot 3 more times. Then after about 4 or 5 more seconds, he said, show me your hands, and shot 4 more times. Now it's obvious they're trained to yell gun before they open fire, because more times than not, they immediately open fire after they say it. They don't even give a second to comply. Now they said the first shot was fatal, and all the bullets the cop shot were non-lethal. And I don't know how we know exactly which shot killed him, but the third time when he shot 4 shots, you didn't even hear this brother making noise, and it don't sound like he was moving. But the cop, Traveion Brooks, still said he feared for his life from a man who was probably already dead. Then they handcuffed his dead body because they still saw him as a threat. And if he shot himself in the chest, that means he wasn't even pointing the gun at the cop. And of course, the police chief, Ben Raymond, still had his cape on for this cop, even though they are saying he riddled a dead body with bullets and then handcuffed him after he was already dead.
One city councilman says in his eyes, the details just don't add up. He spoke with NBC6's Julius Kizzy, who joins us now live in studio control, sharing more. Julius.
Well, Dan, James Green says the details just aren't adding up, and he would like a first-hand account to help put his mind at ease.
Basically, from day one, it has been just like fiberglass to gas to, what happened.
An officer-involved shooting still has city councilmen looking for answers.
The word cover-up is perpetrating through the Shreveport black community.
On the report from February 5th, police say Anthony Childs was walking in the 5900 block of Kennedy Drive when he was approached by Officer Traveion Brooks.
It was an additional shift to make more money. That is not the general area in which he patrols.
Officer Brooks tried to detain him, then Childs ran away.
This guy didn't break the law. Why are you chasing him? I mean, no law. Why are you chasing him? What did he do?
Police said that day the two began to shoot at each other.
Okay, you know what happened? The bullet that killed him was his own gun.
James Stewart says since the Cattle Parish coroner ruled the death of Anthony Childs a suicide, his office won't review the case. Now Green hopes authorities release dash cam footage and audio tapes of the incident, hoping to get a first-hand account of that day. And lastly, Brooks did not have a body cam.
I know that body cams are not the solve-all for the problem that Reverend Green, our Councilman Green, spoke about. It's going to take a lot more than just that.
Family of the man who was killed in a shootout with a police officer talks to NBC6. Anthony Childs was shot to death yesterday in the Moortown neighborhood.
NBC6's Delano Henry joins us now live on Kennedy Drive where it happened, sharing an exclusive interview with the family. Delano.
That's right, Dan and Jackie. The shooting happened in this field here right across the street from the airport. Now, Child's family tells me he was just taking a trip to the convenience store, and they didn't even know he was shot until 3 hours later.
I've heard 2 different stories.
A family has more questions than answers. Did they notify you at all about that it was Mr. Childs?
No, still haven't.
Anthony Childs' grandmother and father say they were shocked when they heard from neighbors the 31-year-old was shot by a Shreveport police officer. It happened around 4:30 Tuesday evening.
He was a mentally disabled veteran. Yeah, and he had a lot of problems. He had he had severely schizophrenic. He never got to the point where he bothered anybody.
Shreveport police say Officer Traveion Brooks attempted to detain Childs on Kennedy Drive when Childs took off. They say Officer Brooks chased him and the two got into a gunfight.
Officer's okay.
Child's father is a little uneasy about that report.
Did he fire his gun? I want to know if anybody swabbed him for gun residue.
Officer Brooks has been with the department for 2 years and is now on paid leave. Child's family says they are anxious to get the results of the investigation.
It's been real hard for me, but I know God is a healer.
We just got to learn how to be more careful. We do. As people, we do.
Now, this cop, Traveion Brooks, did get his paid vacation, but he in the process of returning to work. The chief, Ben Raymond, said he concerned about putting him back in the same area, but eventually he will. But now, after this brother Anthony Childs is dead, people are trying to get this law designed to discriminate against black people, especially black men and black boys, off the books.
Discussions continue over plans to reverse the city of Shreveport's sagging pants ordinance. NBC6's Markel Sinet joins us now live from Government Plaza with more from today's council meeting. Markel?
Jackie, Council Member Lavette Fuller is behind that legislation. It passed back in 2007. The ordinance prohibits people from wearing pants below the waist in public when the skin or undergarments are exposed. According to the Shreveport Police Department, there have been more than 700 citations for violation of the ordinance since it went into effect. Earlier this year, Anthony Childs was involved in an altercation with police after being stopped for sagging pants. The death of Childs is what led Fuller to want to repeal the ban. Mayor Adrian Perkins is also in favor of reversing the ban.
It unfairly targets people of color. Just like many initiatives from the war on drugs that we now in retrospect realize are discriminate against people of color, we've evolved to get that understanding, and this is in that vein. I've spoken with members of council and heard from countless citizens throughout the community, and I believe the public supports repealing this ordinance. As a matter of fact, I have yet to bump into one citizen that is in support of this ordinance. With all that being said, and since the tensions of our community are high, I think a way to alleviate that and get us to the right place.
Most of the public comments portion of today's council meeting focused on council member Lije Fuller's proposal to repeal Shreveport's sagging pants ordinance. The ordinance prohibits people from wearing pants below the waist in public when the skin or undergarments are exposed. Councilman James Green voted in favor of the ordinance in 2007, but the death of Anthony Childs is what has led him to want to repeal the ban.
A person lost their life because of this particular legislation, then I would think that it would be befitting to look at it a different way.
This is citizens taking a role.
Thank you.
That's what this looks like. This is citizens taking a role and holding us accountable for the things that they want to see change in our community.
The 14th Amendment of our United States Constitution guarantees everyone certain fundamental rights and assures that those rights are going to be equally protected to all citizens, regardless of factors like race. There is historical precedent, I've done the research, for a right to one's own appearance, a right to wear what they want to wear.
All right, then.
This comes after the death of Anthony Childs, who was involved in an altercation with police after being stopped for sagging pants. Fuller's ordinance will be introduced at Tuesday's meeting and can't be voted on by council until June 11.
Now, it's not the laws that create racial discrimination. It's the racial discrimination that creates the laws. But after the death of this young brother, they're still trying to repeal these laws, and we'll see what happens. But this brother Anthony Childs' family is already talking about forgiveness when the police haven't even made the first apology. In fact, they're busy trying to justify his murder and explain why this cop was in every right to shoot this young brother and continue to shoot him even though he was supposed to be dead after the first shot. And when the family asked was it proper police procedure to litter his dead body with bullets, the police chief said yes if we still feel it's a threat. Now, we are too willing to forgive everybody but our own. Probably because too many of us are still scared to stand up for ourselves and scared to take our freedom. But at the end of the day, if we don't get on code and respond with more urgency than they do, then the same thing is going to continue to happen. And none of us are safe. At the end of the day, we are all we got. And if we don't change our situation, then nobody will.
He said your handcuff, he was down on the ground. Did he die right there or they handcuffed him dead on what?
Now, when did Mr. Childs find out? Because they were the same sign. The same sign.
Emotions running high at a community meeting tonight to discuss the death of Anthony Childs. Childs died in February during a confrontation with Shreveport officer Traveion Brooks. His death was ruled a suicide. KSLA News 12's Melissa Kakarika was at that meeting.
And Melissa, it's a strange case indeed. The coroner ruling the suspect shot himself during what's believed to have been a shootout with that pursuing officer. The coroner was at the meeting, detailed what happened, and we showed viewers that dash cam video just last week.
That's exactly right, Doug. Now, many citizens are saying tonight they want answers, saying they don't believe this was a suicide. Caddo coroner Todd Thoma, who made that ruling, said he reviewed witness statements from citizens and officers, dash cam video, and all the other evidence, and said all of it was consistent. You'll remember that police reports state that Officer Brooks fired 8 shots and Childs fired 1. KSLA showed you the dash cam video right here of the shooting last month. I'm going to play the clip again of the 9 shots that were fired, and then Coroner Thoma's explanation to citizens tonight about which shot was fired by Childs himself.
Hey, put the gun down! Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Put the gun down! Shot fired, this way, shot fired! Hey, show me your hands!
I can tell you that it was one of the first 2 shots. Because when Officer Brooks came around the corner and you heard him yell, "Shoot me," and he said, "Drop the gun, drop the gun," there were 2 shots fired. Bam, bam. One of them was shot by the officer, was fired by the officer. One of them was fired by Mr. Childs. At that point in time, Mr. Childs would have fallen to the ground. Okay? He was standing when those first 2 shots were fired. When he shot himself in the chest, he went down to the ground.
Thoma also said the fatal shot came from a close range and that evidence shows the officer never got close enough, instead firing his shots that hit him from a distance. Police Chief Raymond, as you see, was also there tonight as citizens asked questions about police policies and protocols when it comes to officer-involved shootings, of course a big topic. Pastor Linus Mays, who organized the event, said they were there to get answers and also come up with solutions within communities.
And that being the tough part, that we can hear what happened, just not able to see it on that dash cam. Again, the Caddo Parish District Attorney's Office declined to review this case based on the evidence.
Get out the fucking car! Get out the fucking car right now! Get your fucking hands up! Get your fucking hands up! Get your fucking hands up! Get your hands up! Get your fucking hands up! I'm gonna fucking put a cat in your fucking head! What the fuck is that, man? Get him out!
Police? Yeah.
It doesn't open, I promise. I promise it doesn't open. You're gonna fucking get shot! Get your fucking hands up! Get out the fucking car! Get out the fucking car right now! Yes, get out now! Get out the fucking car! You fucking hear it? Get out of the fucking car!
You recording it? Yeah, I'm recording it.
Put your hands up. I don't give a shit. Put your hands up. Hands up. I can't put my hands up. I'm fucking big, man. I'm crazy. I'm crazy. Overdoing shit. Overdoing. Break your feet. When I tell you to do something, you fucking do it. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm just on the side. You're not complying with me. Yes, I am. When I tell you to do something, you fucking do it. I am. I'm complying with everything, sir. Hey, right now, shut your mouth. Put the other key down. No one else is in the car. What did you guys just do? I didn't do anything, sir. Are you okay? Okay. So, you can come get me. When I tell you to put your fucking hands up, I can't put your hands up. I'm a fucking baby, nigga. I'm so fucking concerned. Put your hands up.
Hey! Whoa, sir, come down!
What's
going on here? Oh, fuck that shit. We live here. Attacking a lady, man? Really?
Put your child down. She didn't walk. She's a baby.
And that's how y'all treat black people, huh? Can someone just defuse the situation here? He just came out yelling, he didn't say nothing.
Yeah, he just came out screaming and hollering at her. He didn't have to come at her like that, man. That's ridiculous.
I was in the car with my baby.
Tonight, a police department is taking some heat because of how the arrest of a 12-year-old boy near a neighborhood carnival went down. Reporter Steve Large shows us the video.
Cell phone video captures a 12-year-old boy detained by Sacramento police, calling for mom. Moments later, as the 12-year-old is walked toward a squad car, video appears to show an officer wiping her face. The officers then put the 12-year-old on his stomach, handcuffed, while another officer takes out a spit mask and places it over his head.
It's just every parent's nightmare.
It's that spit mask that's become a focus of the 12-year-old's family. Latoya Downs is the 12-year-old's mother and says officers' treatment of her son was degrading.
Degrading. He was angry. He didn't know why it was on him. It was degrading at that point, and he was scared. He didn't know. He didn't know what to expect.
What we do know is that the subject spit on the face of our officer.
Sacramento Police spokesperson Vance Chandler says the police department is reviewing how officers handled the arrest and that using a spit mask, this mesh netting material, is standard operating policy.
What about the fact that he was 12 years old? Does the age play a factor in determining whether or not that action is taken by an officer?
Well, all that plays a factor. You know, all the circumstances that they faced during this incident, all of those play a factor.
The incident comes as the Sacramento Police overhaul force-related policies within the department following the Stephon Clark shooting. Attorney Mark T. Harris, who works for the Ben Crump law firm handling the Clark case, is representing the 12-year-old's family.
I've never heard a situation where a 12-year-old child had a bag placed over his head. I don't care what they call it, a spit propulsion repulsing device. They can call it whatever they want. A bag is a bag is a bag.
A family asking police to apologize. So far, the police department says their officers were simply following procedures. The family says this all started when the 12-year-old was asked to put something in a family friend's car, and a private security guard thought he was acting suspiciously.
Bring your hands up now. We are on the corner of Prairie and El Segundo, and they have their guns drawn on this young black man right here. Why are your guns pulled on this young man?
I ain't got no weapons.
He has no weapons on him. We live right now. We are so live. What's your name?
Make sure you add them people up here. They attack you.
What's
at the gas station, they attack you.
What's your name? What's your name?
Make sure you add that.
What's your
My name is William.
Last name, William.
What you loading for? I ain't doing shit. I have no weapons. I don't feel unarmed black man.
Are you gonna shoot him? Are you gonna shoot him?
What?
Okay, relax, baby. Relax. Relax, because they will shoot you. They killed my boyfriend in 2015. Yes, he was killed by the police. You're gonna shoot me too, right? For filming, right? We live. Look at that big ass gun she got on this man with no weapon. Is all that really necessary, ma'am? I'm sorry, I just need to know. Is all the guns drawn on him necessary? Excuse me, Mr. Officer. My name is Sky Hosey. My boyfriend name was Leroy Browning, and he was killed December 15th at a Taco Bell. This is crazy to me. Look, my car is right there. I was getting gas. I don't understand why y'all got guns drawn on him right now. Are y'all about to kill this man? Like, look at these big ass guns they got on this man right now. Look at this baby. Look at this baby. Stand up and walk slowly to the sound of my voice. Do it now. Can y'all just put your guns away and somebody get them?
My name is William, not suspect.
Don't move. Don't move. Please don't move. Can somebody just come get him? Can somebody put your guns down and get him, please? Don't resist him, okay?
It's a tense situation. Cops with guns drawn aiming at a suspect who is on his knees. Suddenly, a woman comes forward.
Why are your guns pulled on this young man?
The bystander, 31-year-old Sky Holsey, says she was getting gas when it happened at an LA intersection. She not only started recording, she stepped right into the action, a big no-no for civilians, and begged cops to put down their weapons.
I don't understand why y'all got guns drawn on him right now.
At one point, you can see a female officer telling her to move out of the line of fire. But she kept at it, even breaking down in tears.
Can y'all just put your guns away?
Some people are praising her for getting involved, potentially saving the man's life. But others say she had no knowledge of what led up to the confrontation and foolishly put herself in jeopardy.
Well, I wanted to do something, and that was the only thing that I could do.
Don't resist him, okay?
Fortunately for everyone involved, the incident ended peacefully. Cops handcuffed 24-year-old William Ewell. Hawthorne police suspected Ewell and two companions of entering a mini-mart and arguing with the cashier. Ewell then walked behind the counter and forcibly grabbed store items. The cashier attempted to stop Ewell, at which time she was assaulted. We asked retired LAPD Sergeant Cheryl Dorsey about the controversial video.
No, this wasn't excessive force. This was police officers performing their duties as they're trained, given the information that they had at the time.
Are you gonna shoot him? Are you gonna shoot him? Okay, relax, baby. Relax.
Hey, back up. Don't do that.
That's what the body camera of Officer A.J. Johnson recorded Friday night. Another version in a now viral video. But in the moments before, several officers are seen on police video, standing in front of a home on Hale Avenue on a call of shots fired, while bystanders appear to wait, until a woman and two children appear to try and enter the home.
Hey.
As she is turned away, a man is seen following her closely and quickly, and that's when the situation turns from tense to violent.
Get back! Or what? Get back! Or what? Get back! Or what? Get back!
In the wake of the situation, NBC4 spoke with Jonathan Robinson, the man seen in the video, who claims he was worried for his wife and children's safety.
She starts to come across the street. The officer, with his hand on his trigger, approaches her and is trying to, tell her what to do.
And while Robinson was arrested for obstruction of a police officer, he calls the punch uncalled for. And in a new statement, Columbus police only say they're investigating all aspects of the incident.
I said, did you pay for that shirt from Old Navy?
But, I mean, didn't you see me walk in the store with it?
Yes.
So then why would I have to?
Out of the store with it, ma'am.
But didn't I walk in the store with this?
No, you didn't.
I didn't walk.
The tag's still on.
Yeah, the tag is still on, but I didn't walk into the store with my Old Navy top on.
Ma'am, I'm on the phone with someone. I can't listen to two people at the same time. I didn't understand you.
So you're saying that I didn't walk with the shirt on? I didn't come in the store with this?
No, you did not walk into Old Navy with that shirt on. You walked out of Old Navy.
Well, you're going to have to call the police then, because I did.
We have cameras, ma'am.
Okay, so what are you going to do?
You can check the cameras.
So go check the cameras right now. Do you want me to come with you?
You can come with me.
I'm not coming with you.
Ma'am, why are you shaking? Are you nervous?
Does it look like I'm nervous?
Does it look like you're
under arrest? Did you guys see me?
I just need to see the receipt.
No.
This could all be done.
No.
Ma'am.
Don't. Hey, let go off of me.
Do not.
Wait.
I just need to. This could all be done if I see the receipt.
Can you let go off of my hand, Stephanie?
No, I cannot.
Let go off of my hand.
I cannot let go of your hand.
Stephanie, I will press charges against you, Stephanie.
I will press charges against you.
Let go off. Can you tell her to let go off of my hand?
Please do not.
Can you let go off my hand, Stephanie?
This could all be
I will press charges against you if you don't let go off my hand. I walked in the store with the shirt on.
Can you come with me to Old Navy?
No. If you don't let go off me, I'm gonna press charges.
Okay.
So if she doesn't let go off of me, I'm gonna press charges against her.
Okay, we're just trying to figure this out.
Because I'm a citizen, she has no right to hold on to my hand.
I get that. We're trying to figure things out right now, okay?
Go watch their camera and see that I walked in the store with this shirt on. And you know what? On top of charging Stephanie, I want her to apologize to me for putting her hands on me. Who the fuck does she think she is?
She touched you?
Yeah, she did. I have it on video.
Okay.
The hell she putting her hands on me? Does she know who I am?
Well, I apologize. My staff should never, ever touch anyone.
Say that again?
I said I apologize.
Your staff
Our staff
should
should never touch anyone.
Security guard, did she put her hand on me? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Yes, she did. Okay. Security guard's my witness now. Okay. Let's see what's going to happen now. And you know what? Your time is running out because I have things to do.